Ooh, big opportunity alert.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. Genuinely, really do hope that. And welcome back to Chelsea News. That's right, the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my thoughts on it. As always, more importantly, asking for yours, mate. It's a community here at Football Therapy. We talk to each other in the comments. We exchange thoughts, feelings, emotions, passions, desires. And look, lots popping off. Some of you may have seen Julian Alvarez very likely to leave Man City at the end of the season. He knows Enzo Maresca. Could he be the perfect striker solution? I mean, I understand why you'd want to go when he's like the same age as Erling Haaland, and his stock's higher since coming from South America, Alvarez, and you're just not going to displace Erling Haaland, even if you might be more traditionally suitable to Guardiola football, which is an interesting one to consider. And he also has played a multitude of times on the pitch with Haaland, but we're going to speculate with that. Updates on Lukaku and Maatsen, and we'll maybe a little talk on the goalkeeper as well. So yeah, man, it's going to be a good video. I'll thank you for joining me as I always do. Please do consider supporting the content. It's easy. You drop a like. You subscribe if you want to, but if you choose to do so, you should hit that sweet bell, baby. Oh, come on, Ian. Sweet bell, baby. There we go. Not really the key that I wanted to go for, but we move. All right, mate. Firstly, there's this guy called Gaston Idol, and he's the one saying that there's a possibility of a big offer to arrive to Man City in the coming days from a Premier League club for Julian Alvarez, and we're going to talk about him in just a moment. Firstly, caveat, there's a lot going on with Man City at the moment. They're suing the Premier League. There's talk about them joining the Super League and leaving. There's even talk about Chelsea supporting their claims, which, by the way, to get it in early, I would not align myself with at all, for whatever's my opinion and position's worth. It's just worth letting you know that. If that story develops, I will react to it accordingly, but at the moment, there's just a lot of noise regarding Man City, and it's ugly, and let's try and keep it about football, shall we? And that's what we're going to do today, so let's get into it. Alright, so Maatsen, Fabrizio Romano posting on X, not tweeting on Twitter. Borussia Dortmund initial proposal for Maatsen will be around 25 million euro in order to start talks with Chelsea. The release clause is 35 million pounds. Now, in my head, traditionally, I still think of pounds stronger than euro, but I'm not even sure if that's the case anymore. Oh, my country. Clubs are expected to discuss in the next days. Maatsen is BVB's priority, but they need a different price or will consider alternatives. I do understand why Dortmund don't want to spend £35 million sterling on Ian Maatsen, a very young fullback, because that's not really their style. I mean, they might spend that on a big striker, but even that I wouldn't be too sure, I wonder if Chelsea will take 30 million. That's a meet in the middle right there, isn't it? We want 35, they've offered 25. It's a 30 million sale, if you ask me. There is interest from Bayern Munich. Obviously, the Bundesliga have looked at Maatsen this season and gone, wow, he's good. He can really operate at a high level in this league. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think we will sell Ian Maatsen. I think he'll be happy to go wherever he goes. I imagine his priority is Dortmund. I certainly think he's said that before. But if you said to Ian Maatsen, you can go to Bayern Munich, he'd probably go, okay. And remember, he does have a positive relationship with Vincent Kompany, who, lest we forget, is the Bayern Munich manager. No, you are not living in a fever dream. That actually happened. Alright, Romelu Lukaku chatting absolute bollocks. Here he is. Lukaku started talking again. He's been chatting about Saudi Arabia while away on international duty. He said this: Saudi Arabia? That wouldn't stop me. The level will only rise there to a much higher level than many people think. Yeah, well, money talks. I'm sure there's truth to that, but yeah, man. More and more footballers would tend to play there, All the major European top clubs know that. Saudi Arabia is coming. He is, like, ripping that copium, isn't he? And he is essentially doing a Cristiano Ronaldo going, look at these guys, they're the best. So I should go there because they're really good. This is not me convincing myself everything's fine. I truly believe they are elite. The truth is, they don't have spending caps, Saudi Arabia. There's no financial fair play out there, so they quite literally can juice the league financially. And I reckon those Saudi Arabians have a lot of money. So, yeah. I don't think they will ever reach the prestige of European football. Personally, that's largely because of the history and stuff like that. And time zones as well. I don't know what the time zone is in Saudi Arabia, but I don't know. I just feel like it wouldn't necessarily... I just don't think it would happen. And that's not to denigrate the footballing culture of Saudi Arabia. By the way, I've been very firm on when I was critical of the Qatar World Cup, especially with them spending... It costs like... The carbon footprint and the spend costs like more than the previous 5 World Cups in Qatar. And they dismantled all the stadiums afterwards. And they don't have a footballing culture, Qatar. Whereas Saudi Arabia has quite a rich footballing culture. And that needs to be respected, I think. But... I just don't think it's it, personally. That's my opinion. Although I do like the sound of this, because this means Romelu Lukaku is open to going to Saudi Arabia. We've, of course, Todd Bowley's been over there a couple of times, speaking to his contacts over there. He will be trying to flog them Lukaku. Lukaku will get his bag. He might not get the friggin' crazy money that others have got, but he will get his... You know, he'll probably get like 400k a week or something crazy. I don't know, he'll easily get like... his original Chelsea wage, maybe a bit more on a longer contract, and he will still get called up for Belgium. I mean, he's in his 30s now. He's 31. So he'll probably get called up to the World Cup unless there's a young... Because there's no other, like, budding Belgian striker that's just threatening to take his place, especially because he's so, like... He is a prestigious striker, Lukaku. Like, he deserves his flowers in that sense. So I feel like he'll still get called up to the World Cup in the USA after the Euros. And he'll just take the bag. So, you know, it's good. Let's just rid ourselves of that problem. Kepa, you watching? Your turn next. All right, we know obviously Hakim Ziyech is going to... This is hurting my head. It's never used to hurt my head. Where should I put it? We know Ziyech is staying at Galatasaray. The buy option or mandatory, what's it called, obligation has been triggered. So Ziyech is out the door. But I do want to talk about the striker situation. Of course, it was reported yesterday in the last couple of days that Julian Alvarez is likely to leave Manchester City. Now, World Cup winner Alvarez, I think he did start the World Cup, and actually Lautaro Martinez, who is the more senior and largely more lethal goal-scoring striker, he didn't play as much. Julian Alvarez is good friends with Enzo Fernandez. They're both young Argentine World Cup winners, or Argentinian. And he's an excellent Premier League striker, Alvarez. I know the last couple of times we've seen him, he's looked a bit wobbly, like forcing it a bit. But in terms of, like I said earlier in the video, in terms of general profile, he sort of feels much more like a Guardiola centre-forward, rather than the Nordic giant that is the baby-eating Erling Haaland. Look, I don't think he'd be on silly wages, by the way, Julian Alvarez, because he did come from South America. He was quite cheap. He was a bit more of a left field purchase, an intelligent one at that from Man City. He won't be anywhere near like Haaland wages, but one would have to assume that he was going to go because he is a centre forward, wanting to play centre forward, and you know, there's a guy the same age as him that's called Erling Haaland, and he's probably thinking, screw this, I need to go and be the man somewhere. Could that be Chelsea? So I'm going to cite an article here from Tom Coley of Football.London. Chelsea double transfer chance that changes everything for Enzo Maresca with Julian Alvarez deal. Oh, let's read. Quote, when you want to play from the back, you have to take risks, and it doesn't matter, we keep going. If Enzo Maresca makes one thing clear, his teams do not stop with the short passing from defence. Lots of Leicester fans last season had heart attacks from playing out from the back, of course. This is me, not the article. The goalkeeper joins the back line and does short passing, and traditional football fans often get scared of that. How long until at Stamford Bridge? Just put it long! We will see. He is more willing to accept a mistake from a goalkeeper leading to shots and his side conceding than he is seeing them go direct. He says this: what cannot happen is that he starts playing long balls. Whether this is what he said when he was talking about Mads Hermansson, which is the Leicester goalkeeper. Otherwise, we are going to play the second keeper. If you play long, you get benched, mate. You kick that ball short or you're off. Wow. He says, this is the way we want to play. It can happen. It happened the other day. It happened at Blackburn, but I don't remember more goals. We scored many goals because this is the way we start. Yeah, very dogmatic, very like, this is the way we play, or that's it. We know this about Maresca. I said many times, he's a human being and he can make a mistake. This is talking about Patson Daka here. A mistake on a goal. Jamie Vardy can also make a mistake. All the players. But unfortunately, when you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, you concede a goal. I have no problem at all. That's good. Very good of him. For Chelsea, this is something quite new. Of course, Pochettino struggled to get the best out of Rob Sanchez before injury forced Georgi Petrovic to step up. Although Sanchez arrived with the background of being a more accomplished short passer, he made high-profile mistakes, more than even Maresca would tolerate. And by the way, that may have been the truth of Rob Sanchez, but he did get benched by De Zerbi for his passing. I think he fell out with him, but also his passing wasn't great. And I haven't seen good passing from Rob Sanchez in his time at Chelsea, to be honest. So Petrovic, in his first season at England, is less comfortable with the ball at his feet, but still performed quite well, despite his metrics not standing out. It leaves the Blues with a question to answer and how they move forward in goal this summer. So, of course, we're going to talk goalkeeper at Man City and then a little bit more on Alvarez. The answer could be at Manchester City. It's been reported that the current champions are wary of interesting goalkeeper Ederson. The Brazilian has had great success once more at the Etihad Stadium, but alongside some of his teammates, he's being linked with an exit. Of course, Kevin De Bruyne is as well, isn't he? Saudi Arabian clubs are said to be keen on pushing for a move for him. At 30, he is realistically only entering his best years. Yeah, for a goalkeeper, like, you can still be like elite and relied on at 35. Do you know what I mean? His contract is up to 2026. This leaves him with 12 months to ponder whether or not to offer him a new long-term deal. If there's any suggestion that he isn't going to remain at Manchester, then surely Chelsea and Maresca will be all over it. Why Ederson would be willing to swap serial winners Guardiola for recent underachievers Maresca is certainly questionable, but given the links to City, it cannot be entirely written off. Yeah, so it's different with Alvarez because he's behind Haaland. Maybe Ederson just wants something different. I don't know. Ederson would be a dream signing for Chelsea. He's experienced and capable at the back, possessing the short game to be in defence as an extra outfield player, but also an eye for a parabola capable of assisting his forwards when necessary. Yeah, he genuinely gets assists. Ederson. He's also mental as well. Like, he comes out and gets red cards and like clatters players, and there's an element of chaos to him which Guardiola will not like. Despite being a key player for City, Ederson is not the only man linked with an exit. Of course, De Bruyne as well. It's even been speaking about Saudi Arabia. Before we talk about Alvarez, do I think Ederson's going to leave Man City for Chelsea? No, I don't. Yes, he would be a dream signing for Chelsea because, you know, Maresca coached him in the treble-winning season. He knows he can do exactly what he wants. Even if he's got a relationship with Maresca and can offer him a new challenge and a life in London, that for a Brazilian, he might dig that. Nah, if he leaves Man City, he leaves because he's completed football in England, and he can go and get serious bag in Saudi Arabia. I can't see him coming to Chelsea, getting paid less money for whatever reason, unless he's just got like a burning desire to live in London. But that's just, you know, as much as players like living in London, can't see it happening. So let's talk about Julian Alvarez. So Alvarez, for example, is being pursued. The 24-year-old only signed in the summer of 2022, but has already made over 100 appearances for City. He grabs less headlines than Erling Haaland, but still managed 11 league goals and 9 assists in 36 games. 20 league goal involvements in 36. Not quite Cole Palmer, but, you know, for a guy who's probably come off the bench for a lot of those appearances as well, still a very strong return. And yet, 24 years old, you know, plenty of time to find elite form. Perhaps surprisingly, he also started 31 of those. Okay. Pull back the record, Jan, reel in, go backwards. Yeah. Okay, so yes. So 31 starts is a lot. So 31 starts, 20 league goal involvements. I mean, that's very strong, but maybe not for Man City. More than double the amount he's managed in his first season in England. Yeah, so showing that he's playing a lot of games, despite there being an Erling Haaland. He's able to drop deeper and play as one of those number 10s. Of course, Guardiola's 3-2-5 in possession shape, which we've seen plenty of. He is more adaptable than Haaland, but still fills in up front when needed as well. Yeah, he feels like the kind of player that you can play up top and a little bit deeper rather than out wide, whereas Nico Jackson's the kind of player that you sort of play up top or out wide. Do you know what I mean? So maybe between them, we complete the set for striker versatility. Could be good, right? Could be good. He's more adaptable than Haaland. Yeah, fools enough said that. Being second fiddle to the main man is something that reports in Spain say that Atletico Madrid are trying to take advantage of, though. They have listed him as one of the clubs keen to probe a deal this summer, while PSG have also been linked. Right, so the big clubs are circling. Obviously, PSG, whenever they come to town, you know they can blow us out of the water in terms of wages and what we would be prepared to pay. I don't think... Because he came from South America and because they had Haaland, I don't think he'd be on an insane wage packet at Man City. He will be looking for a pay rise, though, regardless, because he's since won the treble and he's since won the World Cup. I mean, when you negotiate with anyone, I get paid this. I signed a contract and I get paid this. Then I won the treble, won the World Cup, everything else. He's the only player to win everything in a year or something like that, 12, something unique. So he's like, I want my money, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got the strongest case ever. Even if he hasn't got, like, I scored 50 goals. He's, like, an amazing player that can command what he wants, nearly. In Argentina, it's rumoured that a Premier League club, of course, this is what that guy said, that Argentine reporter, are readying an offer. It feels unlikely to be Chelsea at this stage, but perhaps it really should be. Alvarez not only looks like a stylistic fit for Maresca, capable of dropping deep to pick up the ball, but also he's quick enough to stretch a defence with his runs through the middle, but also he's also worked with him. Oh yeah, Maresca there is. Maresca was a key member of Guardiola's coaching staff, of course, when they won the treble, which was Alvarez's first season. It may be unrealistic that the pair of transfers would go over the line. For me, Ederson's a non-starter, personally. And would do... I mean, if he comes... by the way, I'm not saying I don't want him. I friggin' love Ederson as the Chelsea goalkeeper. I think he's the second best goalkeeper in the Premier League, behind his Brazilian guy who he plays second fiddle to for his national team, and of course in Alisson. I think Alisson's the second best goalkeeper in the world, and I'm reluctant to say it because he's an absolute weapon, but I think Courtois is the best goalkeeper in the world right now, and has been for maybe 3 years, as soon as he left Chelsea. Well, a bit after as well, actually. A bit, yeah, because he's been gone for ages now, hasn't he? Right, anyway, yeah, you can read on about that if you'd like. Let's talk about it. Julian Alvarez, he'd be great, man. The thing is, right, it just really depends on if he fits the plan. Because you don't want to sign Alvarez, give him 250k a week. Do you know what I mean? If he says, right, I will join Chelsea, and as a treble winner, I will accept, the Moises Caicedo package, which is like 180k a week. Do you know what I mean? It's like a top earner in the new structure. Because players are signing new deals are getting between like 65, 70 to 180, and that's it. That's like the spectrum, So maybe if you say that you can have that much, we're gonna give you a 7-year deal, or 6 plus 1 because he's already 24. So you got that financial security. You get bonuses as well, goal bonuses, trophy bonuses. Also, like I wonder as well if there's an element of players that. Obviously, I don't want to take the mick out of City because I'm not that kind of fan. But they... Okay, I'm not going to say there's anything plastic about City because they've got a rich history and like fan base. But I am a Chelsea fan, although I do think Chelsea are more of like a cultural player in English football than Man City, personally, in terms of... Yeah, I won't get into the details, but more than anything, the noise around Man City, the 115 charges, the Man City suing the Premier League. I wonder if there's an element of players just having a bit of enough of that. Because I certainly know Man City fans seen online are a bit tired and exhausted by it. Like, can't we just like play football? I wonder if there's a little bit like that as well with the players. And I do wonder if there's a bit of jumping ship going with De Bruyne, Ederson, Alvarez. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe you could just say they've completed football because they've won the treble and Guardiola's going to leave soon. So let's just, all hang our hats and say shake hands and we've done well and let them move on. But I wonder also if there is an element of the fact how they just feel like, let's just, stop this for a bit now. Anyway, put it out to you guys. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts, comments in the comment section. Thank you for liking the video and supporting the content. You are welcome to subscribe. Hit the bell if you choose to. And I will see you back here very soon. Peace.